Hello and welcome everyone. Gerard Scarpacey, craft hairdresser and co-founder of the Hairbrained community, coming to you from behind the camera today because we have these two talented gentlemen. There's no need for me to be in the shot. We've got Mr. Rudy Miles, who is an esteemed makeup artist, esthetician, has been working with Intelligent Beauty Global on their skincare. He's going to be working side by side with Peter Gray. As you know, we've worked together many times here on Lives. And the idea was to kind of emulate exactly what it's like on these incredible shoots that these two gentlemen work on, where you have to work together, work in conjunction. This is our beautiful model, Raven. Hi, Raven. You're getting the Queen's treatment today with these two brilliant artists. Two brilliant artists. We're going to focus in a little bit on the skin regimen, and we're going to have Rudy kind of walk us through what he's working on. Hey, Rudy.
Hey, Jade, and all the Hairbrained family. How are you? Hello. You can tell I haven't been out in a long time. I'm so excited. Like, I'm just glad to be around people. So I am using Intelligent skincare today, and this is a fantastic product. What I wanted to be really honest about and completely transparent, I am not here to sell you product. I am not. I'm telling you truly how I work and products I use and why. If you go to my IG feed, you'll see I work with a lot of skincare brands and products, and they all have a different ethos and purpose and reason. But this is special. So this is Micellar Water, and as a makeup artist and team, I'm going to talk to everyone. If you do makeup or if you do hair and makeup as a makeup artist, skincare prep is everything. And in the marketplace today, we're bombarded with stuff. We are. And some of it works for you, some of it doesn't. So I'm very careful of use what works for you. Like, you may see another artist do a technique that you try and it doesn't work for you. It's because the energy and the purpose and the intent is not for you. So you have to find your own way. The reason I love this micellar water is it is palm and coconut. So the micellar, micro micellars, like little oil droplets combined with water, lift any dirt and debris off the surface of the skin. Now, Raven had on nothing, but she came from the streets of New York. So, I mean, come on. We know.
Hey, don't bash my city.
Listen, it's my city too, but I know. You know, you got to wash your face when you come home. But I like this because you don't need to rinse it with water. So the beauty of the micellar water is you can prep the skin without needing like towels and cleanser and all the other things that you need to do a proper cleanse. But it cleanses the skin, but it also has glycerin, so it hydrates. So the reason I love Intelligent products truly is because everything will have some activity to it and then something that's calming and soothing. So that was fantastic for the skin cleanse, just to get the skin prepared. If you have clients in the salon that comes to you and they're like, oh, I already washed my face and I'm moisturized and you just want to go in with makeup, I highly discourage that because you don't know the textures they've used. And we all know sometimes when you use SPF and you don't let it dry quickly enough, you put product on top of it, it right away starts to peel and ball. So this is great because the glycerin gave us the humectant quality that hydrated the skin. It's also loaded with antioxidants. I went back to school later in my career to learn skin because I was so fascinated with the skin integrity. So this product has black cumin, red raspberry, red grape, pumpkin, cranberry. Look all those up individually as ingredients. I'm not here to sell you product. I'm more about what is the ingredient and does it work and why does it work? Not based on the brand, based on just the technology of that ingredient. And if you look up black cumin, there's some amazing technology been done with black cumin seed oil. So this is the liquid green. I'm going to talk about this a lot today. If you have nothing else in your repertoire, you need liquid green. It is fantastic in green because what? What makes green hair colorists? Come on, come with it. What colors make green? Yes?
Blue and yellow?
Yes, okay. So this is blue.
Throwing it down this morning.
Blue tansy is one of the ingredients. So it's like blue, blue chamomile, blue marigold. So the flower is yellow, but the leaves are green.
So the green color comes from the ingredients. It's not green number 42 or...
It is not. So I love this as a skincare prep. Now let's talk for real. Makeup artists. Some of us love silicone-based primers. I get it. I really do. I'm not an alarmist. Like, I know there's a lot of talk in the industry about ingredients and, whatever. I do think where you can have alternatives, why not have alternatives? So this is a fantastic, luscious, argan-based face oil. It's fantastic because it's quick absorbing. Now, we all work differently. I have to tell you, I like to work, how's that feel, Raven?
Amazing.
It feels amazing. I like to work with skin that's very emollient because you can always powder skin that is overly shiny. But we want this glow to start. Raven, would you please share with everyone what you told me about your skin, the kind of products you tend to choose and why?
I like to go as natural as possible.
Yep.
Products that don't include a lot of ingredients, but also perfumes.
Ah.
Stay away from that.
Perfumes, that's the key, right?
Okay, so
That's one of
how does this smell to you?
It smells wonderful. I feel like there's like a hint of peppermint in there, though.
Ah, look at you. Well, it is a very proprietary blend. So again, the industry is a hot mess. So we know the word fragrance in the industry, right? So if you go to Intelligent website, they list every single ingredient on every product. But this proprietary blend is 99% plant-based and organic. Now, well, it's 100% plant-based, but 99% organic. So then you say, well, then what's the 1%, right? That's how I always go, like, well, then what's the 1? So there is a food-grade tocopherol, which is vitamin E preservative that you just don't find organically. So, but it is like, I always, like Raven says she smells like mint. I always, when I smell this, I smell like the ylang-ylang. So there is ylang-ylang, there's bergamot, there's lavender, there's rose. It's a beautiful blend. But what I also love about the product is that the ingredients are functional. It's not in there just for the sake of, let's add a fragrance. But think of what lavender does to the skin, and look how Raven closed her eyes. Look how she's like.
It feels really relaxing.
Look.
That's Rudy's hand skills.
Isn't that? No, but so team, when I talk about model prep, I don't know. We just met this morning, right?
Yes.
So and Raven, so let's talk about the hygiene part. I think that's relevant.
That was your conversation
I think it's so real.
Well, I will
This
share
is
from
so
that
important.
part. The importance of having clean hands.
Yes.
For all people that touch your face.
Yes.
And even for yourself to touch your skin and your face, because your skin is very sensitive, and you don't know what goes into the crevices of those pores.
Listen to this lady. Listen.
Hold on, she
You
had,
don't
she
need
had
me
an
here.
amazing quote. What was it?
Oh yeah, only 2 people. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Say it.
there's only two kind of people who touch my face. It's either makeup artists or those that I care greatly for.
I love it.
So, and I said to Raven as an esthetician, and this is not COVID based. This is truly hand sanitizer here. I washed my hands earlier. She was like, do you mind using soap and water? I was like, absolutely not. Even though I had just sanitized my hand because it was about her comfort. But the idea, team, the point of that is we work in a wellness industry, and I do think, aside from COVID, we really can think about hygiene differently. Gerard can even show here. I have everything I'm using on a surface. Like I use this palette paper, which is artist paper for anything I'm going to dispense. Disposable applicators, like everything is, it's a whole thing, and I think that does matter. So I'm going to give Raven her own personal one body lip delivery.
Love this stuff, by the
So
way.
this is also great. Again, I'm not here to sell you product, team, but I just want to.
It sells itself if it
sells
works,
itself.
right?
Here's the deal.
I think when it said use it.
You have options. So there are people who are vegan, and they are so strictly vegan that they don't use beeswax. Like they don't even use it in their product, or they don't use honey. So this product is beeswax. It actually uses rice bran as the wax for the base. It has jojoba oil. It has lemon.
So this is suitable for vegan?
It's completely suitable for vegan. And then it has the sodium hyaluronate, so it's lip plumping, as well as tripeptides, which also helps to build collagen in the lips.
Now, Rudy, before you do that, we just have a bunch of people joining us. I wanted to give you guys
Hi!
shout outs. This is Rudy Miles,
Hey, folks.
Peter Gray, who we're going to get to shortly. The whole idea here, guys, was to show you what it's like when you're on set. This is our beautiful model, Raven, who's getting pampered here. And we know how it's not really pampered when it's a shoot. People are running around screaming, telling you to hurry up.
It should be. This is gonna be cool.
And just a refresher of what you use the micellar water first.
Yes.
Look at the skin, wow. Just to clean, and then use the liquid green oil, and then use the one body lip delivery.
Yeah.
And now what is happening here?
Okay, so this is the massage tool that Intelligent, I think it's on the website already. Like, we just launched a new product. I'm going to use that shortly on the body. It is a Jade massage tool. And, some people will use it and think of it as gua sha, but we are very careful of telling people to do gua sha. Gua sha is a very specific energy technique that you want to be careful doing it on yourself. If you don't know what you're energizing or manipulating, you don't want to just go over your body and start like doing that. So we just say it's a great massage tool. For lifting, it's also naturally cool. So Jade kind of felt like the Jade is cool. So definitely Raven felt some of that coolness. And I just like to do this. Again, when you're at a shoot, I mean, it depends, right? If this is Fashion Week, I ain't doing none of this.
Yeah.
Because we are like in a mad rush
Right.
to get the girls ready. You know, we may do the first girl, and after that, we're trying to get her ready.
If
But
you do red carpet, you do it.
well, for red carpet, for anyone doing like, private clients, I do
Set
all of
someone's
this is part of my
mentality.
prep. So for makeup artists, when we're talking about the industry and it's so saturated, I mean, you can have a point of difference, and it's all in like, what do you do differently than someone else? Like it could be something as simple as this, face massage, or at home, everyone, you have to put on your moisturizer, right? So why not put it on with more intent? Like instead of just slathering on the green oil, why not put it on and like literally do, you don't need the tool, you can use your hands, like really massage it into the skin. And you can see how Raven's skin really received the liquid green so beautifully because it's luminous and fresh. Now let's also be honest, Raven and I also talked about lifestyle, diet, and genetics. I mean, she kind of got it like that, so let's just keep it real. But you can take credit for maintenance. So if you have great skin, you should be using products to help maintain it. The beauty of liquid green is it really feeds the skin. So it has argan oil, which is rich in fatty acids. You need these things for the protective layer of the skin. So your skin has a natural oil component that depletes over time. So this replenishes that need. So for oily skin, it's also great because oily skin does need hydration. So it sounds counterintuitive to use an oil on oily skin. But if you're not hydrating your skin, it actually can help to balance the oil of your skin. So it's really beautiful for that reason. Safflower seed oil, it's just a fantastic product. So typically massaging, it's okay to finish with some downward strokes because you are trying to like detoxify the skin and move toxins out of the face. But of course, always upward strokes if you're lifting. I mean, clearly we don't have to define this jawline, but if she, was a lady of a certain age and I'm trying to kind of give some temporary lift to the face, I would absolutely do some upward strokes to kind of give the skin some of that muscle memory to kind of lift. But again,
Rudy, we had a question just about your career.
Oh, gosh.
How long have you been doing this? I mean, I'm proud to say I've worked with Rudy and Peter probably for close to 20 years. But tell us about,
we've been over that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like what part?
Yeah, I guess she was just asking how long you've been doing it.
Honestly, over 30 years is the real truth. Like before I called myself a makeup artist, I was, teaching makeup at a modeling school in Chicago, John Casablanca. Some of you might remember.
Was that because you started out as a model?
Oh, God, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Show me blue steel. Yeah.
I know. I was a hot mess model for a little while. I know. But retail is really my background. I started with retail. It's where I really learned makeup at first. And then moved into makeup artistry because I didn't sell makeup in the store. And the manager came to me and was like, Rudy, your sales and makeup suck. I was like, because I can't do makeup, girl. And then they were like, we're going to start Makeup Mondays. And we started makeup class every Monday in the basement with Brian Dupre. And he taught us technique, but what I loved about it, he taught technique with tools and the retail aspect. Like, this is why you do this, these are the tools, this is how you sell it. And then we had Sonia Kashuk, who was also our makeup artist. You know who she
Yeah,
is.
we do.
She would come in and train us on the retailing. And something about the way I was taught, I caught it as concepts. Like I understood makeup as a concept. And from that, I went to education and then what I'm doing now. Which
But I think you mentioned it earlier. One of the things that blew me away, you're already a successful makeup artist and well into your career, and you decided to go back to school to become an esthetician as well.
Absolutely. So here's the truth. Okay, I'm gonna use this next. This is just launched by Intelligent. It's liquid green body oil. Now I'm gonna go back to Gerard's conversation.
I'm anointed with it head to toe today.
But this is great because, let's be honest, again, go to my feed, I use lots of product. Most body oils, let's be real, you put it on, at some point you need to like towel off the excess or dab off because it just never absorbs. This product is so fantastic because it literally is coconut and sesame seed oil. It is fast absorbing, has all those antioxidants I talked about before, black cumin, red raspberry, pumpkin, cranberry, red grape, and it is fast absorbing. So here's the truth. I used this during Fashion Week this season, Okay, I didn't do a show, we did a lookbook. So that's even harder because it's one girl wearing 30 outfits that she has to change in and out of. So this was great because I could hydrate her body without worrying about it transferring onto these $30,000 gowns. So it was fast absorbing. It's fantastic. So there's 3 ways I like to use this. So let's just be real here. In the shower, you're naked, right? So before you towel off at all, just wet body, put it on your wet skin. And oil and water don't mix, right? So you're gonna get these beautiful little droplets. And I like to think of those as part of the sensorial experience where you're feeling like the coolness from coming out of the shower and these droplets. So you're gonna rub those in until they're gone, and you're gonna find the product will absorb within minutes. That's one way. The other way I like to use this is on damp skin, which most of us would do. You get in the shower, you'll towel off slightly, and then put it on damp skin. And it's great on dry skin. So I say that because we've been having all these conversations during COVID about self-care. I do think there is a component of what we could do that is a little more like care for yourself. So please, Raven, give me one of your arms, please. Excellent. So I want you to see, you get the same beautiful sheen that you saw when we did the liquid green face oil. But what you're gonna get is the same beautiful glow, but with no texture when it's finished and absorbed. And I think, we're getting into colder weather some places, or different weather. Mm-hmm. As we move into a season where your skin is more depleted, you want to really concentrate on hydrating your body. Let me be clear, this is a completely different formula than what you have for the liquid green face oil. It is a completely different formula.
Can I just add, Rudy, that I use it today for the first time.
Okay.
I got a bottle for myself. And the biggest thing that I like about it is my tattoos, which are very black and very old on my arms. They look really like hydrated and shiny, even hours later.
Yes, so think about it.
Yeah.
And you don't feel oily.
Oh, no, of course not.
Texture one is
I mean,
fine.
that's the interesting thing, because I've been using the liquid green when I've been doing the skin myself on all these locations.
Yeah.
And it's kind of really shiny and it's like very iridescent and responds so well to daylight.
But Peter, that's the thing. So on the shoot, I may do this on the body and then still use the liquid green face oil, like for my high points. Like I'm gonna do that on Raven when I do her highlights on her face. I'm gonna use the liquid green as a highlight instead of your typical shimmery highlight. Nothing wrong with shimmer. I'm just saying, y'all.
All right, Rudy. As you work that in, I want to catch up a little bit with Peter and let everyone know what's happening. So we're here in studio, basically in a beautiful photo studio. We're going to do some shooting afterwards here. And the whole idea was to show how a great hairdresser like Peter and a great makeup artist, esthetician like Rudy kind of work together to prepare a model. So while Rudy was working on the skin, Peter started on the hair. Can you catch us up, Peter, on the hair?
Okay. So really for me, it's all about prep, when you're prepping the hair with product. So I've used the prep spray, which is the Good Hair Guardian, as a base. And then the first thing Raven said to me, she is like, so I prep the hair throughout. So wet down the hair first of all with a little bit of water, then use the Good Hair Guardian. It's just a base spray, heat protector, general environmental protector.
So that's basically, you're using heat, that's a thermal protector.
It's a must.
Does it do anything to the texture? Does it add any crunch or hold or anything?
No crunch at all.
Right.
Zero crunch, but it just gives me a little bit more of a foundation for the combing. When I'm combing curly hair through, it gets a little knotty. Next, I used the amplifier because Raven said she wanted, and I just used it literally at the roots. You saw me with a tail comb cutting away at the sections, just spritzing it at the roots because she said she liked volume.
So this is the actual styling product,
That's
where
the
the
styling product.
Good Hair Guardian's a thermal protector.
But this is just activating the roots. I'm not putting it through the hair because I still like the hair to feel nice. And what that does, it does crisp things up a little bit. So then what I've done is use the bell curve spray throughout the middle and ends afterwards, which is light.
So this is really like the curl line, the bell curve.
This is the bell curve is the curl line. And then what I've done is right on the ends here, you can see how crisp the ends are still. All the way from root to ends, they're still crisp. I've used the cream just on the ends. So, it seems like a lot of product.
So there's 4 products.
There's 4 products. And this is like genuinely how I prep hair. Like if anybody knows how I mousse hair, I always put the prep in the base in and then put the stylers in where I need them.
Can you tell me a little bit about Raven's hair? Obviously, if you're just joining us, she's got her head tilted forward a little bit. for this process. But you know, and when you're analyzing her hair, what did you notice? What would you point out?
I asked her what she did, and she uses rollers to soften it. So, you know, my assumption there straight away was that it tends to go frizzy when she doesn't use rollers. So I wanted to show her that there's a way to dry your hair very, very quickly. Like literally, we've been on this 5 minutes, and we're almost dry, and we're getting a beautiful, natural, crisp curl all the way through, roots to end. The key when you're diffusing,
Any tips with diffusing? It's something that can be such a challenge for people.
the biggest thing is take your left hand and tuck it in your belt or your pocket. Because the temptation is to constantly
Touch,
touch, and the more you touch, the more you're separating the textures. So you really want to just take that hair, pop it into the diffuser, use the teeth of the diffuser. If you're looking for a little extra volume, the teeth, you can actually rotate at the root and rotate backwards. And then what that's doing is almost like an old scrunch technique from the 80s.
And what about the heat settings and everything? It didn't seem like that disturbed Raven, so maybe it wasn't too hot.
The lowest, and I'm using the second setting on the Dyson. So,
So low airflow, medium heat.
And then I use two different types of diffusers. I use a sock diffuser as well. And the sock diffuser actually sits
Yeah, right over the nozzle.
over the nozzle. So you
Well, when do you know which one to choose? Because I like them both too, but I wonder what your thoughts
I
are.
like the sock diffuser when I'm looking for more direction. If I'm pulling the hair, Raven, if you give your head a good shake, you can put your hands in it now at the roots and just rub the roots. Don't run your fingers through it, just rub the roots. That's it, great. Because this is where she likes the volume at the root. So what we're doing is still damp. Give it a good head bang and throw back. Okay, there we go. So already you can see the surface is drying. I'm not touching, especially around the hairline. You want to be very, very careful. So the sock diffuser.
I'm just going to get in close so you can see the definition in the curls there.
I mean,
really pretty.
I've been using all the top curl products, literally splitting the head in half, and then using curl creams and curl sprays to kind of do a comparative. Because one of the people, somebody actually said, you know, do you feel like the organic is a compromise? And I think, you know, in the same way that Rudy says, you can actually look in my kit. It's what I use. So, you know, and all these crazy locations like the volcano and the beach and all the rest that I've been going to.
Can you speak about that a little bit? Now, we have tons of people watching. This is probably our 4th or 5th time working with Peter on behalf of Intelligent Beauty. But for people who are unfamiliar with the brand, can you tell us a little bit about, you know, the actual brand, the philosophy and the leadership of the brand?
Well, for me, it all started with, you know, Horst just pre-sale. Like I met Horst when he was a Aveda just pre-sale, it was sort of late 90s when I met Horst, and you know, we kind of had a really interesting relationship. You know, he was really at that stage into like the teepees and all the kind of esoteric treatment.
Now you're speaking about Horst Reckelbacher, industry icon, and I always like to say mentor to thousands. I mean, there's a lot of things you can say, but I've just met so many people who say Horst was my mentor, Horst changed my life, Horst taught me this, Horst, you know, changed this for me.
I think there are few people who practice what they preach, and Horst was one of those people who, you know, when he wanted a Swami or a yogi, he went to India and lived it. Like literally lived it.
So how does that carry out into Intelligent Beauty Global?
I think it's so much more than a product that's designed for sales. I mean, it's certainly in terms of, you know, the repackaging and getting things right, there's been huge amounts of investment that most normal companies just wouldn't make.
Right, so Horst originally created this line as like a supplement, and then over the years and after his passing, his life partner Karan and daughter Nicole, they wanted to carry on the mission, and they kind of really expanded the whole thing into Intelligent Beauty Global.
Not only kind of stayed true to his vision, but expanded the vision.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to Karan the other day, and I said, look, I need a rooftop in New York, and she didn't bat an eyelid. She said, yeah, absolutely, use my apartment roof. You know, so it's someone who's really open and giving, and, you know, to welcome a photo team onto your roof that you don't know, that, you know, with someone you've only met 2 or 3 times is quite something. You know, I speak to Nicole, and Nicole was down in Kansas with a friend of mine the other day talking about non-profits. So there really are basically putting their money where their mouth is in terms of ingredients, in terms of the whole product story.
Do you find it unique to work with a brand that's female-led? I mean, we work in an industry that's like 80% female, but a lot of times at the top levels, especially in hair brands, it's a lot of men. I mean, there's a mix, but very rarely is the CEO or the.
It's so different. I cannot tell you because people who know me, I've done this 35 years. I'm not the easiest person. I'm very particular. I'm very fussy, if you like, about my products and how I use the products. And like Rudy says, I don't want to sell the product. I really don't want to sell the product. I just want to use it. And I want to show the product working in the most extreme environments, extreme conditions. And because they're women who actually use the products and know what products they're about, it's the first thing we said to Raven, wasn't it? We talked to her about her skincare.
Absolutely.
I talked to her about her hair care. And it was more like talking to a friend rather than a client.
Absolutely correct.
Like a friend at a dinner table asks you, hey, what should I use in my skin? And it was that kind of conversation, more sort of troubleshooting what she actually did, how she actually worked with her hair and skin, what she liked.
So Peter, while you carry on there a little bit, I want to catch back up with Rudy because he's got all kinds of fun stuff coming out. Yes, he is. He's the man.
No.
So what's happening now?
So because the skin was so beautifully prepped, I want all of us who do makeup to think about this idea. I keep going back to people love a lot of the primers that are very silicone based, and they're not like good or bad. I have no, attachment to the product. I don't. But I'd like us to think more purposely. Like when I met Raven, I started a conversation with Raven about Raven because though she's the muse for today, she's also a woman first. Like she's a person. So I have to find out like, what do you use? What do you like? What do you not like? And I think, I want to be careful and cautious here because I've worked in the industry for so long. I've worked around makeup artists who, when the girl sits down, it's not about her at all. It's just like, let me slather this.
It's about their
idea. And like, it doesn't fit the girl, and they also can't read the body language. The girl is sinking in the chair as they're, okay, I'll be honest. That happens a lot more when I used to be on sets and girls get bad haircuts and they would cry. I will be honest. I used to see that a lot when I used to work at Blank back in the day. But anyway, but for makeup, it's like, how can I use what has been presented to me to make it enhance with what I'm about to do? I'm not making her beautiful. She's already beautiful. She has beautiful skin. I'm enhancing what was already there. So I did just go over with a beautiful foundation that I like to use. And team, this is the other part. It's not about what I'm using. So only the skincare is important today. No matter what product you use for foundation, skincare prep is everything. And I say that because if you're using a mattifying foundation, you're going to need some of that emolliency underneath so that the skin can receive the product. Otherwise, you start to get that dry, flat skin. I know everything's retouched, but the goal is to give the photographer something that's, of course, that's available. Like you want to be able to give the photographer something that they can retouch. That's mostly beautiful already. So I just did a beautiful foundation, a little concealer, and the look today is going to be very clean, fresh, very tonal, monochromatic. As I complete the look. So very clean.
Peter, why did you choose this moment to flip over again?
Yeah, I'm just feeling it.
You just wanted to steal the spotlight from Rudy.
I thought Rudy was going for it. And he's got all the facts and the figures. I mean, that stuff goes through my head like a sieve. I'm like, people ask me, what about the active ingredients? I don't know. For me, I'm very pragmatic. And for me, like, listening to your skincare tips is so interesting because I had to have a friend who's an esthetician take me through facial massage and things like that because I don't have a makeup artist on location. And we haven't used any makeup at all on any of the location shoots. So
I understand.
I've just been doing skin preparation.
I understand.
And what I find interesting here is that it's not just about the makeup artist. Like as much as I was learning how to do someone else's skin, I was learning how to take care of my own skin.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of hairdressers out there, we're around heat all day in bad air-conditioned environments and, bad lighting. We don't get enough sunshine. I'm lucky I get on location a lot, so doesn't show, but
So Peter, what's happening with the diffuse dry now? Why did you switch diffusers?
So I'm now doing exactly what I said you shouldn't do, is I'm ruffling up the roots underneath, because when I'm ruffling up the roots underneath, it's pushing the hair away from the scalp.
Isn't it more that you shouldn't do it like too early? Now's the time to do it.
Now's the time to
Yeah.
do it, because now I'm activating that amplify.
So you
this
wait until the
amplifies
the product is dried into the hair.
Almost dry.
It's like you don't do this till what? It's like 85% dry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to ask Raven, pop your fingers in your hair now and really like mulch it up at the roots, all the way through, around the front, underneath. Just, even on the front hairline, I'm fine with now, it won't go frizzy anymore. And I'm just like, so this is giving your client ownership of the hair back. And for me, this is very important. It doesn't matter how perfect the hair is. I'm always like, I give them, even if I've done a big hairdo, I'll give them a tail comb and let them scratch their scalp. Because there's always that little piece that feels uncomfortable. And then, you know, it just feels like they're gaining back the ownership. Like, you put her fingers in her hair. You talked straight away about the smell. You know, the smell of the product, the aroma, the fact that there isn't fragrance in the product. It's all natural aromas. That for me is very exciting because, you know, like I don't like fragrance because a lot of fragrance is carcinogenic. And that's one of the things that I'm really terrified of. Okay, so I think we're kind of at about 90% dry here. I'm just going to rock your head right forward here.
So just to recap there, you use the Guardian thermal protector to start.
Thermal protector, yep.
That's going to protect because you know you're using a lot of heat.
Then the amplifier right at the roots.
Amplify at the roots because you know you wanted to get a little bit of volume and support.
And then I used bell curve spray through middle and ends.
Middles and the ends.
Okay,
And
now
so what's the
because
difference between the bell curve spray and the bell curve
is
cream?
Much lighter. So she wanted volume, so I wanted to keep the volume, but I also want the ends to be crispy. So, you know, I like the ends to kind of stay, and I could just use the spray if I was doing like an editorial and wanted to brush it out, but after this I want to be able to brush her hair out into a big fro, like when we're shooting with Julia later. I'd like to be able to brush it out and kind of...
So this is just the foundation for lots of different things you're going to do.
Absolutely. So this is just the basic prep that we would do on a shoot, on any shoot day, is just to get your model comfortable, not to kind of go too bonkers too quickly, get them used to like, you know, the idea of being involved, being, you know, participating in the process. Like I love the models to put their fingers in the hair, to talk to them about how they look after their hair. So not running my fingers through the hair at all, still just lifting, allowing that volume to come up.
Peter, can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned it, but people might not be familiar, when you're around the world doing different editorial shoots and campaigns, you kind of tack on a little bit of something there where you go out into nature and you shoot for Intelligent Beauty Global, and then all of those photos that are out on Intelligent Beauty Global's Instagram and social media. Can you talk a little bit about the ones that you've done?
So, you know, the idea basically was, you know, when we started, there weren't any huge budgets, and you know, it was basically in the middle of lockdown, and I was extremely privileged during lockdown to be able to work on private clients who were all on yachts and fancy hotels and in locations in incredible places. And I was able then to go with them wherever I went with them, and then as soon as we started to shoot, I went to Iceland, I did a music video, and I stayed and was able to go to the volcano, and I spent a night literally at the volcano, a whole night just staying there. And I was blown away, and then I found this amazing, Kevin Pages, who's this amazing landscape photographer. And he was like, I'm totally up for shooting at the volcano, and he said, you know it's going to be tough. You know, it's 1,000 degrees C when you're up at the lava, and it's around 4 or 5 degrees C with a 15-knot wind, which is quite something. And finding people to do this, you know, the roller skaters in Venice, one's like they're like my New York family, Janine LaBelle's son, who Janine founded Steeler, and you know, I've known Janine for about 25, 30 years. And
So I think what you were just doing with the hair there, a lot of people would be afraid to do. They're like, oh, the curl is like so good, don't touch it, don't touch it. But it looks like you're working your hands through it. Can you explain?
My hands over the surface. So the flat of
You're
my
not
hand.
pulling through it all. It's just,
And at this stage, if I grab Rudy's hand where
he's got the
oil,
green oil.
yeah, I can grab a little bit and give it a swipe. So So this is a great point where we work together, and this is also when you're working, create a relationship with the people you're working with. You know, it's so important for me. You know, like I know, you know, I've known Rudy for 20, 25 years, and it's like, you know, I think the first time we met was pretty bonkers, wasn't it? I think it was Milk Studios, wasn't it?
You put him on the spot. He can't remember.
I don't remember.
He's trying not to remember.
Yeah.
So I'm not running my fingers through. I'm running my fingers
Over.
through.
Yeah.
Over.
And you're literally now. Does that take a little bit of the hold out of the product as well?
It takes not the hold. It just stretches the hair. So I'm going to take a little bit of the facial green oil here, and this is something I've been using a lot in hair because, you know, I got stuck doing skin myself on location, and, you know, after 35
Well,
years...
you know, the thing that I found is that, you know, companies that can make great skincare usually can make really good hair care.
Really good hair.
Because, you know, if people can put it on their face and it has a great result, it usually, they have the competency to make great hair care. Do you guys agree?
I agree.
You know something really interesting I found about the green oil? It smells great in the hair. It's like one of those things, you know that old French thing where the women put fragrance in their hair, spray perfume in their hair. It stays in the hair, so you know you can wear it. Like, you know, if you're putting it on your hands, just the tiniest amount gives the hair like a really good sheen, stops the separation. I'm just pulling this, holding the hair away from the head, so I'm using gravity and just letting it shake loose.
It's interesting. I was having a conversation last week with Nicole and Karan, the co-founders of Intelligent Beauty Global, and you know, it was on Instagram. It's still up if you guys want to learn more about that. And Nicole was talking a lot about aroma, obviously, and you know, we were talking about that. It's when you start to put aroma in, it goes from a service to an experience.
It's so important. I mean, you've only got to look in any drugstore or any candle store. If you ever go into a candle store, why have they got samples? It's not because people care about how it feels in their skin. They all want to pick it up and smell it.
I mean, I just want to get in close here because the curl looks just beautiful.
I mean, it's just
And
it's roots.
and I
to
say
them.
this with the most compliment. It doesn't look like you did anything to it. It looks like it's just supposed to be that way.
Can you shake your hands through your hair yourself and just push it through?
Can I do anything else to it? Or
No,
just...
you tell me. How's it feeling? Is it giving you
It
some
feels
volume?
great. I like that the curl is a curl throughout, and it doesn't feel.
It doesn't feel like it's gone frizzy on the
No,
ends.
no.
You know, I mean, if it does go frizzy on the ends, that's not a big deal. Then what you do is you get a pencil curling iron, and you literally pick up the ends and just spiral those ends. I can actually show you how to do that. You know, if you end up with a little bit of frizziness, or if you end up with the hairline being too manipulated, which often happens. You know, you get a little enthusiastic, or your model, you know, you've said to your model, put your fingers in your hair, and then she kind of overdoes it. What I like to do there is just to like spiral around the root a little bit with the curling iron. So I'll get a pencil iron while Rudy carries on and just show you how I do that.
All right, Rudy, it looks like you're working on the face again here.
Yes.
You've moved on from the skincare, and now you're doing the makeup
Yeah,
part.
I do want to show, you know, there's this fantastic, again, this is the regenerative eye gel, which it's an aloe-based eye gel. But what I did with it is after I do the concealer, I like to take some of the eye gel and just pat it on top of the concealer. And the reason is it dries dry. So instead of using powder, you can just get like a nice setting to your concealer with the eye gel on top of the concealer. It's another way of using the product. It's it has cucumber in it, and this is why I love Intelligent, the science of the product. Is for years we all have seen people at the spa with cucumbers on their eyes, right? But there is a real science to an acid that is in cucumbers that actually is much like caffeine, is depuffing, as well as it's cooling. I mean, cucumbers are like 90% water. So the idea of using like, you know, this cooling sensation on top of concealer is great. So you don't have to use a powder product that might make it look more cakey and finished. To be honest, I mean, in the world of makeup, powders have come a long way. I'll just turn you this way. You probably aren't using a cakey powder at this point in your career anyway, because powders have been refined. But just, it's what you want to avoid. It's like cakey, very painted on makeup. In general, again, this is aesthetic. Some people like painted on makeup or heavy makeup. You know, it's really an aesthetic. It's what you like.
Like personal choice, right?
It's personal choice, and I'm here for all of it. I'm not one of those people. You know, sometimes on social media, people can be mean, and they call.
No. Have you ever?
No, not a heckler, surely.
No.
Yeah. I tell you what, we've had some hilarious ones, haven't we?
Is it really?
They didn't like our beards. They didn't like our beards.
Oh, no!
Yeah,
Are you serious? I can only imagine what they say.
He literally
it took me
Are you
till I was
serious?
25 to grow one.
he groomed his beard today before. He wanted to be extra.
That's terrible.
They hurt his feelings. He didn't like his beard.
See, that's not cool.
No,
Anyway,
it was just like, it was so irrelevant to the whole point.
that's
And
what
I-
I'm saying.
But I think what's interesting is that, it's the things that we don't think are important to other people.
Yeah.
And I think this is what I was saying. It's like,
Yes.
for me, like you're doing the skin here. For me, I find it really exciting as a hairdresser, and I hope other hairdressers out there. find
Yeah,
it
we've had a
exciting.
great audience. Really, lots of people watching. I think people really. I mean, first of all, Rudy's just like magnetic. I mean,
you guys stop it. Stop.
I just want him to now be in every live that we do.
It makes
Listen,
it makes
invite
it
me.
makes it
You
easy.
know, I love the Hairbrained family.
Yeah.
Like Hairbrained, don't get me started. I'm gonna be all over the place.
gonna
Hairbrained
get
has
mushy.
been so relevant for my career because even when I would teach makeup, one of the things I told the makeup artists to get connected with was Hairbrained. Because most often than not, we're going to be working around hairstylists and learning how to work as a team, like understanding,
That's
hair
why
might
it's so
take 4
important,
hours. I still don't know why.
That's really
but
putting me under the bus. That's really putting me under the bus. We used to be friends, but
But as a makeup artist, you have to understand that it's about the bigger picture. So, if it's a makeup shoot, it's about the makeup. But when it's a hair shoot, it's about the hair, and makeup is there to support it. So I would train my makeup artists early on about, as you grow your career, this is one of the sites you want to go to is Hairbrained, well now it's IG more so that you can understand like the industry, like getting a bigger picture of the industry. And my entire career, I am so grateful, I can't say enough, of working around hairstylists for most of my career because more often than not, when I'm working for other brands, it's usually a hair brand that I'm brought in to work with. I get the atmosphere. I get the culture. I really do.
I think there are very few jobs like hair where people are so passionate about it. Like, and I think when you work with makeup artists who are passionate about skin, who really genuinely love skin, you as a customer, just as a person, as a model, you really feel that vibe.
Not only a vibe, you get a whole different experience.
Back to the experience, and I think for me, that's the most important thing with I-In. It's like working with people in these crazy locations. Working in the desert, it was 48 degrees centigrade. It was melting. I'm working with a 57-year-old woman, beautiful.
Well, can we talk about the volcano, like an erupting volcano? That wasn't
it
like
was amazing.
Photoshop. That's an erupting volcano you had.
Literally 150 meters from the lava flow.
Listen.
Like with the actual lava flow, we were like 5 meters from, 4 meters from.
I can't.
But the actual volcano, the crater, 150 meters. I mean, it was mad. You could literally feel the ash in the air.
All right, Peter. I see that you've pulled your iron out.
I have.
and
line. Don't
so
ask
that's
me
probably-
what size it is. I love,
one of the
I
thinnest.
Love, I love hot tools and I love a Marcel. Guys, if you really want to show that you know what you're doing, Marcel is the only way. Start with a spring, but I would really...
Funny enough, I've never used a spring, and anytime I pick one up, I don't even know how to use it.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, I just make a crimp in the hair right away. Oh
All
no!
the people working with me now use spring iron, and I'm like, guys, you look amateur.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. You have so much more subtle control. Explain for people who don't know. So Marcel, there's no
So
spring.
Marcel, the holding pattern is very simple. Okay, it's like holding scissors. It's not complicated. You grab the barrel, 2 or 3 fingers, and you're holding it underneath. Some people do a double. I just do a single, and you're literally opening and closing. And it gives you total control. The further out you go, the wider you can get it. So we've got a perfect curl here. Ruth, if you can just give me a white background here. Can you see the end there? So we've got like a little bit of an
Yeah, we
irregularity
can see
in the
it.
kink
Yeah,
there.
it's very clear.
So what
It just goes like a nice S pattern, and then it gets a
and then
little.
it's got like a tiny kink. Now, if I'm doing hair ads, or if I'm doing someone who's really particular, or if I'm doing someone who's red carpet, and I just want that end to finish really nicely, there we go. And you don't have to recurl the entire hair and add heat over the whole hair. You can see here's
So
another
it's just
one.
kind of visual. You're looking through the texture and seeing what needs to be
Pick up
polished.
a couple of pieces. If you feel like that one's gone a little frizzy down to the root, pull it out gently, really slowly from the scalp, and we can use that right down at the root there. And I just smooth over it.
And you're using your hand to wrap it around rather than
Just my
the
fingers, yeah.
Marcel,
Yeah.
like a traditional curl.
Absolutely. And then I use my thumbnail. Some people like to use, there you go. So some people, I've got a longer thumbnail than all my other fingernails. And
It used to be really long. I thought, wow, that's
Yeah.
it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was very creepy.
But-
So I got used to working shorter, but I mean, I used to have blisters on the end of my.
Well, it is actually long.
Yeah, it is. It's very long.
Well, because you're working with the curling iron every single day.
Every
yeah.
single day, so it's a kind of a must. I mean, the other thing you can do is you can use like a clip, but I don't like the clip because I don't have as much control, and I feel like it's rough on the hair. So
You hear that, guys? Everybody out there, you have to grow out your thumbnail.
Just the thumbnail.
Just your thumbnail.
very not the baby fingernail. That's
Yeah,
something else.
yeah. Thumbnail.
Oh gosh.
So this is where we work together so well, and this is why I love working with someone like Rudy.
This is what I was going to say. Any tips for how you position yourselves? I'm going to start with Rudy because he's had to kind of move around you the most, I would say. Like,
Absolutely. I'm bull in a
and is
china
that
shop.
typical, Rudy? Like the makeup artist has to move around the hairdresser, or
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I used to work like photo shoots for my corporate life, we would always have like an hour for the hair, and then the girl would come to makeup.
Yeah.
So my first celebrity gig, when I had to work with the hairstylist, I was like, when he finishes, I'll do the hair, and the client was like,
no.
no, we have to be done in an hour. Like I had to do, it never dawned on me to do them in tandem. So now when I do like bridal work, I prefer like we do it this way because it comes together. Like you start to see it like happen.
You can also interact and buzz
Yeah,
off each other, and you know, like I
it
pull the fake
diffuses,
headband.
correct. It diffuses sometimes some of the energy that's happening. You know, it's a lot going on. We're people, we're human. There's a lot going on. So I find my opening. Like when Peter works on this side, you saw me go over here and work, and then when he's back there, I'm gonna jump in and get as much done as I can in real time. As I promised you, I am using now the liquid green as my highlighter. So literally, I just put a pump on my little artist paper here, and use it. Look for my like glow on the.
now what is that paper that you keep referring to?
It's
Artist
called
paper.
palette paper. It's used very often for painters. But so here's the other part. Let's go back to hygiene. So even these are like reusable cotton rounds that are, so instead of disposables, whatever. So the palette paper, this is something else I train. If you ever see my team work backstage at Fashion Week, which you will never see, it's like product all on the back of our hand or on our wrist. Like that's like just for us, it's not right or wrong, people. Don't inbox me. But we work around very expensive clothing. So if a model bumped against my hand with makeup on the back of it, it's not her fault, it's
Yeah.
my fault. So as a team, I trained them, you don't work that way. Everything goes on palette paper where you can dispense. It's also more hygienic so you're not double dipping into product. It's a whole vibe. It's a whole thing. But it goes back to, again, the way I was trained. Like that's how I was trained as a makeup artist.
Some people use like a little aluminum palette.
You can use the aluminum palette. The thing with that, you have to, the great thing about the aluminum palette is that it's non-porous. You can just wash it between people. The great thing about this paper is biodegradable. You just throw it away when you're done. You ball it up, you throw it away, and you're finished. But I'm down for all of that. But what I'm not down for is like product on your hand or in the palm. I mean, we sweat, so now you have your sweat and the foundation going on the girl's face.
Yeah.
But it's just a consideration. I always think that when you do makeup, there's a person attached to the end of your brush. Like there's someone receiving what you're about to do, and be mindful of that.
I think that's so interesting as well. You know, I was talking to someone the other day. I was at the show, and they were like, "Oh, your clientele's so exciting," and I was like, "Well, have you ever seen how I arrive at work? I arrive at work on steroids. Like I'm buzzing. Like when I get up, I'm very calm. I like sit there quietly. I have my process. I have my matcha. I don't want to talk to anybody for the first half an hour. And then once I'm ready to roll, it's like you come in here and all that baggage is gone and you're like full on. And I think, the more enthusiasm you come with, the more enthusiasm your clients are going to feed off. And they're going to want to change. They're going to want to listen to you. They want a piece of that.
Absolutely true.
Candice McKay from South Africa saying hello.
Hey, Hockey, how's it going in South Africa? You guys are coming into summer. They've had a long, hard winter there.
So again, I said the look's gonna be very monochromatic, and this is just clean, simple. It's more of a skincare look. So that's the other part. As a makeup artist, sometimes going to work is not about the big smoky eye, false lashes, and the contour. Some days, it literally is how minimal can you be using as many products as possible. I mean, if you think about what we've done to Raven, we've used a lot of stuff.
A lot of product, yeah.
But it still looks open for me. It looks very like, you know,
I think
hopefully, I hope it
every woman
reads
has
kind of
all
monochromatic and
Every
just
woman
fresh.
has all that stuff in her cupboard already.
For sure.
They just don't use it.
For sure. Do you know during the pandemic, I spent a significant amount of time doing Zoom lessons one-on-one because I was bored out of my head. I mean, let's be honest. In March, it was kind of cute watching Netflix at like 3 in the afternoon.
Tiger
With a
King.
glass of wine. Right. But by April, I'm like, okay, this is not working for me. I'm going crazy. So I started these virtual workshops, and it was exactly that, Peter. Having ladies bring what they got already to the screen,
Yeah.
and we went through it and did like makeup lessons.
And showed
It was
them what they had.
awesome.
Interesting.
But the skin is everything. I mean, I keep going back to Raven. She came with beautiful skin. So my conversation with everyone about intelligent is like, go to the website. When I do consultations for skincare, it's like, what are you using currently? What do you want your skin to do that it's not doing? And this is the product or the products that will get you there. To get the skin you want, you got to do something. I mean, let's just be real.
What's happening now, Peter? So you went through and you touched up some ends that you felt could have more definition.
Touched up the ends, got a little bit of crispier curl on some
Yeah.
of the ends there.
It's basically perfect curl.
What I've done, I mean, you can see roots to end, it's pretty perfect all the way through underneath. If I drop that away underneath.
I mean, and just to be devil's advocate, if you did all the techniques that you did but didn't have the product,
It wouldn't work.
it wouldn't work.
Wouldn't work.
It's
Because
all
you
product,
need the
isn't it?
moist- You need the moisture.
50% product, 50% technique.
50 not touching it.
Yeah.
And I think, not touching it, it's, it doesn't matter how, if I teach you, and as I said, we've been doing the tests with all the products, literally splitting the head down the half. I've been working with Lupe Voss and we were doing color evolving the color line, and we split the head down half and half to do actual textual comparisons, to do how long does it last, and we've done exactly the same with the hair products. And I think for me that's really exciting. I got a friend, my friend in Paris, Mike Rudy, who works with me. I gave him the green oil. He loved the oil, and I said, okay, for the first week you're only going to do half your face. After 2 days, he came to me and he was like, I've really got to do my whole face because this feels so good. And it was really interesting. Literally just doing half your face. And I think too often we kind of feel like we're sold products, and again, like Rudy, it's a total anathema to me to sell product. I want to use the product, I want to know the product performs, and if they don't have it, then we can work on evolving it, and I phone Nicole up and I say, well, what about this, or this works, or this, I feel like this needs a bit more moisture, or one of the batches of the product actually, right in the very beginning, they had an entire batch that was too aqueous. They hadn't put enough thickener in it. So it was coming out very runny out of a tube, more like a runny lotion. And I said it felt cheap to me. Like if something comes out of a tube, it should feel expensive, it should feel lush. And I think that from a consumer point of view, doing skin for the first time in 35 years really is kind of exciting for me, because I normally work with makeup artists who do all the makeup and I don't have to think about it. But suddenly understanding how little you need, but how much you need to achieve that little look. Having that 40-minute facial massage, bringing it to, even just pinching the cheeks, rubbing the lips with an old toothbrush. You get an old toothbrush.
You do that, yeah.
From home.
Yeah.
So,
So-
getting them to rub their lips to descale their lips and take
circulation.
and how pink the lips go.
Absolutely.
And using that pinkness in a picture is amazing.
All right, Peter, so you've got the hair texture where you want it. Rudy's finishing up the makeup. Are you guys going to do a few shots right now and maybe give some tips on that?
So how are you set up? Where do you want to set up?
I kind of want to go to this corner.
Okay, we're going to get Julia in the corner.
So we've got a photographer on set with us today. Hi, Julia. She's been shooting behind the scenes here. And now we're just going to jump in and just, excuse me. This is what Peter does literally every day, works with photographers for campaigns and photo shoots and editorials. So he's just going to give us just some tips there.
Just to make your own pictures better. Okay, give it a shake and go for it. Put your fingers through, throw it all back. You want any final touches, Rudy? Do you like to push it over? That side. Perfect. Let's push it that side there.
Well, let's see her in the real light, because this is obviously.
Okay, so I do have a bit of the oil on my fingers, so as I touch the hair, it's not drying it out. Okay, Raven, you want to stand up for us?
Where am I? Come right here. Oh wow, you're really tall.
We suddenly discovered legs.
Oh, we suddenly discovered legs. I love that. Okay, so we have like what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, just a few minutes to show us, how you guys do your magic here. So you've got Raven, obviously, she's looking fabulous, incredible skin, great hair.
Just take a test. Beautiful.
Okay, Raven, just throw it back a little. Push your fingers through the face, around the face, and just feel it. And keep your hands like that while she shoots you. It's beautiful. So again, do it like almost in slow motion. That's it.
Beautiful, yeah.
That's it.
And give me a little bit more profile. Super cute. And chin up a little bit. Amazing.
So Peter, any tips on working with photographers?
Yeah,
I know,
liquid green highlight.
you know,
Yeah.
I think really with iPhone now, it's about lighting. It becomes about learning to light yourself. So, if you pull back a little bit, the interesting thing here is that the light is slightly off to the right-hand side here. And as she's shooting, she's looking at it on the screen and she's adjusting it, moving the light. So, all hairdressers use a ring light, and I don't understand why, because I really don't like the reflection, and I don't like shooting through the middle. And I love her that she's interacting with her hair here, that there's little mistakes happening. You can see the bits tumbling.
so a beauty dish.
Go a little
This is what you-
Beauty dish or a little soft box. A great little tip here is, Raven, throw your head forward and come up very, very slowly now. Very slowly. Slow, no, super slowly. Super slowly. Stay there. Okay,
I love that.
there we go. You got like a beautiful texture.
The other slow.
Super cute. Yes, amazing.
She's fast.
I love the hand. Beautiful. I also always feel like if you keep moving, the shot usually happens like mid-movement. It's never.
That's the thing. It's never when you try and
It's
pose
never like a
them.
pose. It's
Yeah.
always
Especially
really
for
good.
hair, right? Because you want to see
Too
it
often with
move.
salon hair, I think you kind of got too.
Oh, that was
precious.
nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Amazing. I love how it like falls in her face. Super cute. Beautiful.
There's a jacket at the back there.
Amazing. Oh yeah, do you have a jacket?
Oh, I do, yes.
Perfect. And let me just get your hands a little bit as well. Give me a little hand on your, yes. Stunning, stunning, stunning. And a little profile, look over your shoulder. Cute. Drop this hand. Super cute. Beautiful. Wow, the profile is amazing. Yeah, keep moving. Throw your hands up a little bit.
Rudy, how do you know when to jump in and do touch-ups and such?
You know what? At this point, it's all about what the camera sees. So I'm looking at the.
Yeah, you're behind
the
her
image.
looking,
Exactly,
yeah.
because it's
Simple.
like my eye is not.
This was mid-movement.
That's
And
beautiful.
just, you see the smile
The
on her
angles,
face.
wow, yeah, that's a beautiful
The
shot.
hair looks amazing.
Well
the
done,
skin.
Julia. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's, wow, look at that shot.
And everyone, look at the body. Like, look at her shoulders. Like, that's what the green, liquid green body oil does. Like, she has a glow, but it is
Yeah.
completely not textured. Like, there's no oil on her body.
That's
so
another
that
great
glow
one.
is nice, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
So what I'm using here is just a silver wire comb, very cheap from a finding store. The wire combs, you can cut them down to different lengths. I'm just going to put it in on one side here, just to give her something a little bit special. And I think when you're shooting your customers, doing something like this, showing them how to take a very cheap, simple accessory and work it into the hair, just gives you like a little bit more of a pullback. There we go. Got the jacket there.
Beautiful. Give me
Right.
a little size.
And by putting a jacket on, we get like a completely different shop, something a little bit more
Beautiful.
sophisticated.
Stunning,
Same lighting,
stunning.
same play around.
That's awesome. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right, Rudy,
yes,
shall
love
we
that.
get in with her? Come on.
All right, so these guys are going to continue. They've got a whole photo shoot plan. They're going to go outdoors. You'll be able to see all the great changes on Intelligent Beauty Global here on Instagram. Thank you, Raven, for being such a fantastic model, looking so beautiful. Thank you, Rudy, for brightening everything up for us. And again, Peter, a continued great series. Now, I just want to let everyone know, this is probably our 5th or 6th in this series. They all live on our Facebook page. That's the Hairbrained Facebook page under the live tab. And we probably got about 600 or 700 other videos that you can learn from. So thank you. Thank you to Intelligent Beauty Global. Thank you, Peter Gray. Thank you, Raven. Thank you, Rudy Miles. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers, cheers.